Today's episode is brought to you by our lead sponsor, Crew.
Today, we're talking about continued pressure on the Biden campaign, what Project 2025 is, a record-breaking heat wave, and other top news for Friday, July 12th. Stay informed while remaining focused on Christ with the pour over today. Here's the quote of the day. Turn the Bible into prayer. Robert Murray McShane. Let's get started with some espresso shots. Pressure on the Biden campaign isn't dissipating. George Clooney, actor and longtime Democratic fundraiser, called on top Democrats to ask President Biden to voluntarily step aside. In his New York Times opinion piece, Clooney claimed that the Biden he saw while co-hosting a recent fundraiser was the same man we all witnessed at the debate and is not the Joe Biden of 2020. Then, Vermont Senator Peter Welch called for Biden's withdrawal for the good of the country in his own op-ed, becoming the first Democratic senator to do so publicly. Former Speaker Pelosi stopped short of supporting Biden's withdrawal or candidacy, encouraging him to simply make that decision because time is running short. Hoping to regain the public's confidence, the president held a rare solo press conference last night to wrap up the week's 75th anniversary NATO summit. Whatever the outcome of 2024's election, the hope of Christians won't be shaken. Our truest home is God's kingdom, and He is our ultimate King. Live as exiles here, serving as Christ's winsome, peacemaking ambassadors, with your eyes fixed on your heavenly home. 2 Corinthians 5:14, 19, and 20 says, "For the love of Christ compels us, since we have reached this conclusion that one died for all, and therefore all died, He has committed the message of reconciliation to us. Therefore, we are ambassadors for Christ, since God is making His appeal through us." Project 2025 is making more headlines every day. It is a 900-page playbook for how Republicans should overhaul the government drawn up by the Heritage Foundation, a conservative think tank. It includes a conservative policy agenda, a playbook for a Republican president's first 180 days, and plans to remake the federal workforce, a database of vetted conservatives to hire, and an online course to train them. While some advisors and staffers for the Trump administration contributed to its creation, former President Trump himself says he knows nothing about Project 2025 and called some of the proposals ridiculous and abysmal. Democrats are sounding the alarm over what they call extreme positions in Project 2025, and the Biden campaign began running ads highlighting the project's connections to former President Trump, saying it would give him limitless power over our daily lives. Here's a verse to consider when two groups of people fight about how our nation should be run. So like, every day. Nations rage, kingdoms topple, the earth melts when He lifts His voice. Stop fighting and know that I am God, exalted among the nations, exalted on the earth. The Lord of armies is with us, the God of Jacob is our stronghold. Psalm 46, 6, 10, and 11. Americans are feeling hot. Over 160 million people are under excessive heat alerts as temperatures break records across the Southeast, Mid-Atlantic, Southern New England, and the Northwest. Temps are up to 30 degrees above average, and heat is a suspected culprit in more than 30 deaths across 6 states. Las Vegas is smoking its own record for consecutive days above 115 degrees, and its hospitals have seen a massive spike in third-degree burns from contact with 170-degree pavement. In Houston, more than 1 million have been sweating without AC since Hurricane Beryl knocked out power earlier this week. A swing bridge in New York was stuck open due to heat-expanded steel and was closed for hours as firefighters hosed down the bridge's hydraulics. Stay hydrated. Cooler temps aren't in the forecast. Massive weather events and natural disasters remind us that all of the world has been broken by sin, but Christians can look forward to an eternity where there's redemption not just for people, but for creation itself. Romans 8, 20 and 21 says, "For creation was subjected to futility, not willingly, but because of Him who subjected it, in the hope that the creation itself will also be set free from the bondage to decay into the glorious freedom of God's children.
With over 1,000 translations and every type of decorative edition, it's easy to forget how many people can't even get their hands on a single copy of the Bible in their native language. This is why we've partnered with Cru. Cru has missionaries in almost every country, but they need more Bibles. One missionary said, "I have never seen such a thirst for the Word of God in my country. Let's quench that thirst." For just $24 a month, you can provide 3 people with Bibles every month. As a bonus, Cru will provide meals to 12 hungry individuals through their humanitarian ministry and send you a free TPO coffee mug. Simply text TPO to 71326 or visit give.cru.org/TPO. Again, that's texting TPO to 71326 or give.cru.org/TPO. Message and data rates may apply. Available to U.S. addresses only.
In other brews, here's a rapid round of updates. Lawmakers are pushing some long-shot legislation. Representative Ocasio-Cortez introduced articles of impeachment against SCOTUS Justices Thomas and Alito over their failure to disclose gifts from individuals with business before the court. Meanwhile, a bipartisan group of senators drafted another bill banning lawmaker stock trading. The effort has repeatedly failed in Congress despite 80% voter support. Team USA will sparkle in Paris this year, with or without the gold. The design for the women's gymnastics team leotards have been released ahead of the Olympics, and some of their looks are bedazzled with a record-breaking 10,000 hand-placed Swarovski crystals. The Leos, inspired by Parisian high-fashion runways, would cost about $5,000 retail. Work it. Inflation update, better than expected. Falling to 3% in June, inflation gave economists' predictions a run for their dwindling in value money. A decline in gas prices helped balance out increases in food and shelter prices. The positive report boosts the odds that the Fed will cut interest rates at least once this year. Turns out, anxiety didn't have to worry. Inside Out 2 has become the highest-grossing Pixar movie of all time, surpassing Incredibles 2 at $1.25 billion worldwide and rising. Currently, the 4th highest-grossing animated movie ever, it just needs a cool $200 million more to pass number 1, Frozen. With more global premiere dates coming up, Elsa may have to let number 1 go. Gollum is quaking. Now anyone can own a ring to track their health. Samsung's new Galaxy Ring can track heart rate, sleep patterns, and menstrual cycles, mostly, around the clock with its 7-day battery life. The ring costs $399.99 and will be available July 24th in 3 colors. And that's all we have for today. Thanks so much for listening. If you're listening on the Apple Podcast app, give us a 5-star rating and drop a review. If you're listening on Spotify, give us a follow and hit the notification bell to never miss a new episode. We appreciate your support and hope you have a great weekend. We'll see you on Monday.